Hey guys, John here from Bring the SEO. Today I want to talk about getting clients at BNI events. These are small business networking events, typically held locally. And the whole purpose of these events, of course, is for small local businesses to get together, share leads, help, inspire, learn, network, and all of, and build friendships and all of that other good stuff. Now, a question I was asked recently was, John, should I be going to BNI events for SEO clients? And I said, absolutely not. Now, that might sound like unusual advice, but hear me out. I'm going to share with you 2 reasons why you shouldn't waste your time going to BNI events to get SEO clients. Now, I'll preface this by saying, I'm sure if you had a look on YouTube or Google here, everyone would be saying, probably giving the opposite advice. Go to BNI networking events. It's fantastic. There's going to be a whole range of people and you'll get leads and it'll be wonderful. It'll be all roses and rainbows. Well, I've been through this myself. I've seen others go through it as well, and the outcome is usually always the same. Now, there are 2 reasons, and that outcome is usually pretty awful. To give some context, there are 2 reasons why I don't make the recommendation for anyone to be going to BNI networking events to get SEO clients. The first reason is that most of these business networking events is full of small or local businesses. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know, wait a minute, if they're all small and local businesses, well then the likelihood of them being willing to pay, let's say, any more than, maybe $1,000 a month might be quite slim. Now, I know the first networking event that I went to, in fact, I went to a few of them reluctantly, went to a few of these BNI events. I found myself surrounded at one point with about 6 or 7 small business owners telling me that $1,000 a month was completely unreasonable and it was far too expensive. Now, this is a great example of a saying that I found myself sharing with a lot of the members in the community recently. It's not the price, it's the prospect, right? It's not the price, it's the prospect. Smaller local business owners, $1,000 a month. Oh my God, that's insane. However, if you went to a debt recovery agency or a credit card company and said, I'll charge $1,000 a month, you wouldn't get the project because you'd be deemed as being, that would be almost laughable. So that's the first reason. Almost all, and there'll be some exceptions, but almost always these BNI events are full of small and local business owners. Almost always they'll have limited budgets. Okay, now that's fine if you want to charge $500 a month and you want to have 50 clients. I couldn't think of anything worse, but that's not for me. If you're thinking, I want to be able to charge $2,500, $3,500, $5,500 a month, then going to these BNI events is probably not going to be a good use of your time. That's the first reason. The second reason, and this one is something that I certainly wasn't aware of or didn't give consideration to, and that is you go to these BNI networking events, the room is going to be filled with people working in all sorts of industries. You'll have someone who's a landscaper, someone who's an optometrist, Bob sells trampolines on the internet, someone else is an arborist, we've got a weight loss surgeon over here, we've got a lawyer. It's just an absolute mixed bag. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's wrong with that? There's everything wrong with that. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll see that I talk at length about niching down, specializing, doing one thing and doing it incredibly well. This will allow you to reposition yourself from being a generalist where you're literally saying yes to anyone for anything and shift over to becoming a specialist, becoming known for something and being able to charge a premium. Okay, this is incredibly important. If you're going to a BNI event, then you're going to have 50 people all in different industries. And you're going to find yourself in a situation where you get home and you've collected a handful of cards, you're at home, you now have to follow up with everyone. And okay, now we've closed 6 people that we met at this event and they're all in different industries. That's the fastest way to chaos. because you can't scale that. You can't automate that because every single project, every single campaign will have its own unique set of requirements. Okay, having said that, what's the solution? All right, well, this is what I would recommend. Forget about BNI events. Forget about small business events. Instead, have a think about what events or seminars or conferences or expos might be on in your area where there's 600 people in the room that are doing good numbers and they're all in the same space. I'll give you an example. Let's just say I had a look online and I found there's a networking event next Saturday afternoon, and it's for legal firms who specialize in immigration law, and there's going to be a bunch of guest speakers, and there's going to be 500 lawyers at that event. That would be perfect because the numbers would make sense. You'd be able to charge a premium. They're all in the same industry. What you implement and apply for one campaign will be almost identical for several others. It will allow you to move, like I said, it'll allow you to move from being a generalist where you're saying yes to anyone for anything and you're running around each day with your hair on fire, niching down, productizing your service offerings and doing one thing, doing it incredibly well because everyone will be doing the same thing. Okay, so you're probably thinking, all right, so where do I look? Where do I find these events? Well, they're all over the place. The first place that I would probably look would be on sites like meetup.com. Another place that I would be looking is local community sites. And lastly, Facebook groups. Okay, there's no end of, certainly no shortage of Facebook groups and places where you can find these sorts of events. So there are my thoughts. Obviously, there'll be exceptions to the rule, and I'm sure there'll be people in the comments saying, oh, but I went to a BNI event and I landed a $10,000 a month client. Well, I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm just saying for the most part, especially for freelancers just getting started, don't waste your time at these small local business BNI networking events. It'll be an absolute waste of time. All right, guys, hope you've enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to learn more, head over to bringtheseo.com. We provide business development training for SEO consultants wanting to improve their processes, increase profits, and scale to $100,000 a month or more without all the stress and overwhelm.